Welcome back, treasure hunters and coin explorers. Today, we dive into a story so unbelievable, so electrifying, that you just might rethink everything you know about those humble coins jingling in your pocket. Imagine holding in your hand a coin so small, so overlooked, and yet potentially so valuable that it could change your life forever. No, this isn't fiction. This isn't fantasy. This is the astonishing tale of the 1981 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln cent. Yes, a penny, a single cent. But don't be fooled by its modest appearance, because what lies beneath this coppery surface is a story of unexpected worth, elusive variants, minting mysteries, and collector dreams that stretch into the thousands, lakhs, and maybe, just maybe, even millions of dollars. Let's travel back to 1981. Ronald Reagan was preparing to take the oath of office. MTV hadn't even been launched. Personal computers were still a luxury, and gas cost less than $1 per gallon. In that very year, in the vast halls of the U.S. Mint, a flood of Lincoln cents was struck, each bearing the now iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a solemn reminder of a nation forged through struggle and unity. These coins were part of everyday life. They paid for bubble gum, were slipped into jukeboxes, dropped into charity jars, and vanished into countless coin purses and couch cushions. But somewhere, hidden among the billions, was something different, something rare. The anatomy of the 1981 penny. Let's examine the coin itself. On the obverse, or front, you'll see Abraham Lincoln's right-facing portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner. The words, "In God We Trust," arch above, "Liberty" rests to the left, and the date 1981 is firmly planted to the right. Flip it over to the reverse, and you'll find the stately image of the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro, with United States of America boldly overhead and 1 cent proudly declared at the bottom. And in tiny lettering between the memorial columns, yes, if you look closely enough, you'll see the faint outline of Lincoln's seated statue within, a small yet powerful detail missed by many. The coin shines with a distinct reddish-brown hue. Why? Because it's made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a metallic recipe that would change forever just 1 year later, in 1982, when the U.S. Mint transitioned to a lower-cost copper-coated zinc plancher. That makes 1981 the final full year for the original heavy copper cents, a last of its kind. And that's where the magic begins. The weight of rarity now, you might be thinking. Wait, they made billions of these coins. What's so rare about it? And you're right, the mintage numbers are massive. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck over 7.5 billion of these. The Denver Mint added another 5.5 billion. So how can one coin stand out? Well, in the world of numismatics, rarity isn't always about how many were made. Sometimes it's about how few survived in pristine condition. Sometimes it's about die varieties, minting errors, or composition anomalies that slipped quietly into circulation, unnoticed for decades. In the case of the 1981 penny, collectors hunt for several key features. Die-doubled coins, where letters or images appear twice due to a slight shift during the minting process. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or skewed, increasing uniqueness. High-grade specimens, coins that somehow remained untouched, uncirculated, and as flawless as the day they were born. In 2022, one collector discovered a 1981D Lincoln cent-graded MS67 plus red, and the price it commanded at auction? Let's just say it was comfortably in the 5-figure range. Yes, 5 figures. For a penny. And that's just scratching the surface. The copper versus zinc war. There's another reason the 1981 penny is gaining massive attention. It's the great copper versus zinc divide. You see, in 1982, the U.S. Mint began phasing out the traditional copper penny due to rising metal costs. From that point on, Pennies were made mostly of zinc, lighter, cheaper, and far less durable. But in 1981, every 1-cent coin was still solid copper, and with copper prices steadily climbing, each penny's metal value alone began to approach, and sometimes exceed, its face value. That's why, today, even the average 1981 penny is often hoarded by metal collectors, because its copper content is seen as more valuable than a newer coin's weight in zinc. Now, combine that with a flawless strike, an error variant, or a rare die combination, and you've got yourself a coin that could be worth not pennies, but thousands, a collector's dream. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's a passion, an obsession, a treasure hunt that spans time and geography. So when a coin like the 1981 penny becomes the subject of whispers and speculation, the community listens. Some speculate that certain 1981 coins were struck using experimental dies meant for 1982 testing. Others believe that extremely rare proof-like finishes were unintentionally released into circulation. And then there are those off-metal strikes. Incredibly rare mistakes where a 1981 cent may have been accidentally struck on a foreign plancher. These oddballs are so rare they don't appear in ordinary circulation. But when one does show up, it could be worth more than a luxury car. Even more astonishing, some of these anomalies may be sitting in your home right now, in a forgotten jar, a shoebox, or tucked in a drawer you haven't opened in years. Real stories, real shock. Let's talk about one true story. In 2012, a retired school teacher from Ohio decided to finally clean out her late husband's coin collection. It was a mix of old wheat pennies, nickels, dimes, and, yes, 1981 Lincoln cents. One coin stood out. It had a mirror-like finish and an odd misalignment along the edge. Curious, she sent it in for grading. The result? MS68RD, near perfect red condition. When the coin hit auction, it stunned collectors across the country. The final hammer price? Just over $18,000 for a coin she almost gave away. And that's the wonder of coins like the 1981 penny. They may not wear a crown, but some are quietly reigning, hidden in plain sight. How to identify a rare 1981 penny. So how do you know if you have a valuable 1981 penny? Start by checking these key details. 1. Mint mark, no mint mark, equals Philadelphia. D equals Denver. S equals San Francisco. Proof coin. 2. Color and condition. Red pennies, RD, are most valuable. Look for coins with no visible wear, no scratches. These are rare survivors. 3 die errors, doubled letters, especially on 3. Liberty, or the date. Off-center designs, missing design elements, or clash marks. 4. Weight. True copper pennies weigh around 3.11 grams. Zinc-based ones are lighter at 2.5 grams, but shouldn't exist in 1981. 5. Professional grading. Submit your coin to PCGS or NGC. Grading boosts both credibility and value, and always keep an eye out for something unusual. Because in coins, odd is often valuable. Why this coin matters. It's easy to overlook the penny. It's humble. It's dismissed. It's that coin you find under the car mat or stuck in a vending machine tray. But the 1981 Lincoln cent is more than spare change. It's a symbol of transition, the last breath of the solid copper era, a time capsule of Reagan-era America, a fragment of history that's growing harder to find in top condition. And for some, it's been a silent ticket to fortune, so what are you waiting for? Go check your old jars, peek into that childhood coin box, sift through that forgotten drawer, because you might just be holding a piece of history, a penny with a story worth telling, and a value far beyond its tiny size. And remember, not every treasure glitters. Sometimes it's a single cent that sparks a revolution. If stories like this inspire you, hit that subscribe button, tap like, and share this video with fellow collectors and explorers. And as always, keep hunting, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of a simple coin, because someday, that penny in your hand, it could be the one that changes everything.